my huge goal is to eventually open up my own facility for those with autism after they graduate high school, so that way they have somewhere to go once they get out of high school, so that way the parents and the caregivers don't have to worry so much what the next steps are. Actually got my own billboard here in New Mexico,
Nice.
which was really cool. So that was really cool to see.
Did they pay for it though? Hopefully you didn't have to pay for that.
I did not pay for that.
Okay.
It was a gift.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
it was a gift from a very
Ron
close
Bell.
friend.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I wish. He actually helped me with an accident once. So
Did he really?
He came,
Shout
on the,
him.
he came on the show. He's a great
legend.
guy. Yeah.
He's a legend.
Shout out Ron Bell.
Shout out him.
What,
Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
Season 6. It is all about you, ABQ. Now, the goal of the show, highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value, feeling inspired. The way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out using our social media tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
And a sharp-dressed guy. You probably know Grant as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team. Now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
And you see Skip on HGTV's House Hunters. He's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the world.
Just an absolute all-star. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined in studio by Mackenzie Sydow, Miss New Mexico and autism expert, and just an all-around fantastic New Mexican from start to finish.
Yeah, so some depth, right? Got a lot in their arsenal. Yeah.
And then obviously stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. Dude, it's nice to see you with your hairbrush, properly dressed, and back in studio, man.
Well,
a little vacation there.
yeah, we'll talk about that. So I have these bad Pomeranians that are, they formed a gang. There's 2 of them now, and they do bad things. They carjack and they do hood rat stuff. No, but I keep them out of my kitchen, and I try. And I hurdle this one barrier instead of this other one because I get tired of the other barrier. It takes too long. I didn't clear the barrier. It's kind of a sign that maybe it's good I stopped playing hockey for a couple years because I'm not that fast and I can't jump anymore. But I caught my foot on the barrier, and I was out for about 6 hours, and my sister found me and had a little hospital stay. And I'm here. Here's what I'll tell you about hospitals. They're just like prisons, but the correction officers are really nice. And the judge is the doctor, and he decides when you leave. So you can't leave or the hospital cops come.
Fantastic story.
Yeah, I had a good weekend like you. How was your wife's?
Oh yeah, so intern Ashley joins the 4-0 club. My wife, obviously, we turned.
She's 40.
Turned 40. Yeah, time for the old upgrade.
Yeah, Leo Caprio.
Yeah. So she's 4.0, intern Ashley. So for the weekend, we took a little trip up to Durango. We took the kids up with some friends and rented a big house up in the mountains.
Of course.
And so we got some snow.
Was it really? Was it that?
It was gorgeous. We got some. Yeah,
That's
like
the actual picture?
8-bedroom house. And so.
Or was it brochure?
Bro, that's an iPhone picture from my iPhone.
Dang, you must be rich.
Well, we're doing
What was
great.
that, $10,000 a night?
No, but it did beg the question, obviously working in real estate, what's pros and cons of having a second home, a vacation home?
What's the pros and cons? The con would be that you would probably have to go pick up a few more pieces of weed and some litter, maybe property taxes.
Well, no, but that was the conversation we kept having. It's like, dude, should everybody go in together and buy a vacation home? That way we can all use it to go skiing.
Timeshare, yeah.
And for me, it's like, I guess there's some upside to it in the fact that you get a house that you can go use. Downside is obviously you have a house in a different state, and now you got to get somebody to manage it. And are you really going to get your return on investment if you use it once a year, twice a year?
The problem with that is sometimes you ever felt like you were compelled to do something because you go, well, it's going to be waste. And you didn't want to do it, but you're like, well, it's going the way. So you're like, now I've kind of pigeonholed myself into this, I want to get my return on investment. So but that place, let's split it. I mean,
yeah, that's what everyone's like. Yeah, everybody just put in, $250, and we'll just.
I already did Hawaii, so I'm good for the first year.
No, but I think it brings up a point. Obviously, it's always a challenge to get financing with a group of people on a second home.
Yeah.
And then also when it comes to ownership, like, God, okay, so who's in charge of changing the light bulbs, or who's got to be in charge of managing?
You know what this situation reminds me of? When people get boats together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, boats are the worst. You know what? Boats are great if you don't own them. You go, hey, can we go in your boat? It's like swimming pools.
Yeah.
Hey, can we go in your swimming pool? I would never have one. Would you?
Yeah, can I come?
Hey,
splash
Tom
up your house?
Kite, can we come over again? Yeah, I mean that is the true. Someone's resentful, right? There'd be three couples. There's 6 people involved. Someone's going to go, this is unfair. Someone is going to find the injustice of it all.
Totally. And then you got to look at, obviously, the carrying cost for an 8-bedroom house. It's expensive. What if we can't get it rented out for the 99% of the time we're not using it?
Now you have this many people weighing in on what ought to happen, and then if all of them have to not panic.
And then if somebody wants out early, somebody wants to sell, it's like, okay, I need you to buy me out for my $250K.
Yeah.
I don't have any more money. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, when you want, and then how do you settle that? You go, well, you have to for the the rest of your life until you die.
Yeah, so that's a quick way to lose friendship is to invest.
And who didn't clean the microwave?
Yeah.
Again.
You didn't restock the milk.
Dude, actually, the reason why Skip and I are such good friends is we don't care about the bill. We just go, all right, whatever, whoever has their wallet out. But a lot of people don't have that going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why we only have 2 cabins together.
And 2 boats.
We got 2 boats.
But there can be some issues, obviously, when you go to finance a vacation property.
Yeah.
And then what constitutes a vacation property? If you're living at less than...
Well, so you can, it's a second home. It doesn't have to be called vacation. It's a second home if it takes an hour or it's like 55 miles away from where you live. So it can be called a second home. The problem is Fannie Mae didn't make it that much advantageous anymore. They took away, I guess, the allure of a second home. It's not that much different than an investment. So there's actually lenders that thrive in investment properties as long as you put a lot down. They kind of treat it like a conventional. There's some.
Speaking of housing, Pulte Homes is doing a new development on I-40th and 98th Street.
I-40th?
I-40 and 98th Street. Pulte Homes set to build a new community, 212 single-family homes in the Petroglyph National Monument area.
Someone's opposed to it, right?
No. It's approved moving forward. It's kind of on the outside of a development they just did, so it should be pretty easy to get done. Homes will primarily be 1-story structures, up to 3,500 square feet, pricing between 400 and...
3,500 square feet?
Yeah.
What's the price? What's it going for? What do I write a check for?
400 up to 650.
Oh, okay.
Tuscan style, Spanish style, kind of flows with their model.
That's a tough area to justify that, don't you think?
Have you been out there though? There's some kick-ass neighborhoods with nice views because you got to figure it's on the west side of town, so you get those sick panoramic views of the city.
Oh, now you're a West Side fan. Look, the guy keeps talking about La Cueva and the Heights and stuff. Oh, it's nice on the west side. Yeah, I live on the west side, and you diss it every time.
Well,
I'm about to leave the show.
Well, listen. I'm always down for a good view, but also there's just, to speak to what you're saying, it is a tough sell at that price point out there because there's not a ton of amenities. I think there's a brewery and a Starbucks. There's no grocery store. Schools are low rated.
So you just drink coffee and beer.
Sit out and look at the view.
Like we did at EDC.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's what's going on in real estate, man. What's got you up in arms?
Oh, well, all right. I guess I'll talk about hospitals. That's not a real cigarette, first of all. I want to let you guys know the emails keep pouring in. I thought you were a health nut. Why you keep smoking? I keep clearing it up. That's not a real cigarette. That's not even my real glasses. So that's not even my coat. So let's go talk about hospitals again. I wanted to talk about how the experience of a hospital as a guy who's a patient versus like an employee, a nurse. I have a couple former hockey players that are nurses, and they're nice guys, but you go, oh yeah, you're a nurse, blah, blah, blah. Nurses have a lot of responsibility, and I have such a respect for them. This is where I'm going with this rant. I'm not complaining. I think they do a fantastic job. Mine did. I guess there's some nurses that are like the cafeteria lady that'll punch you in the face when you're sleeping, but they pick up like after you. They carry food in for you, and they come in 47 times if you need to go. Actually, you can't use the restroom if you had a head injury. They have to walk you. So if you get up on the floor, there's an alarm like that show Double Dare. So it's like woo, like sprinklers come out and stuff. So you have to get walked every time. But besides that, and nurses have to come in every single time you want anything. So I think I met two exceptional ones that I think I want on the show because they're UNM products. But hats off to the medical community and the ER people, although the ER people did tell me you need to take off your pants, but they didn't say I need to. They just took them off, and then they took off everything. So there's a woman from the counter going, hey, get him naked, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is now you got my attention. I don't have a concussion anymore. I'm up. But anyways, medical community, hats off. I now realize what you deal with on this side, and you pull it off well. It takes quite a humanitarian to indulge that type of work. It's not a real cigarette either.
Great rant, dude. Shout out to the first responders. Coming up next, here's where you want to stay tuned. Mackenzie Sydow, Miss New Mexico Autism Advocate, and all-around New Mexico All-Star. And then obviously stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite Skip's Tips. This is all about you, ABQ.
This thing won't even...
Welcome back to UABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
Joined by Mackenzie Sydow.
Hi.
Miss New Mexico and Autism Advocate. Thank you so much for being here, being on time. You know, that speaks volumes about you and your punctuality.
Absolutely, I gotta be early.
I
gotta be ready.
Represent the sash, kid, the sash.
I already know.
But you've got a cool story, and I want to chat a little bit about it because born and raised New Mexico.
Yes, born and raised. Yes, I've lived here my whole life.
So not only that, but UNM grad.
Yes.
Everyone's a Lobo, is that true?
I think so. I mean, even though I just recently started my master's program online at GCU, I will always be a Lobo. The faculty and the staff over at UNM have always been so supportive.
The coaches are, you guys have been top notch.
Yes. So everyone's always been so supportive, and they're just a great crew.
Nice. What part of town did you grow up in?
So early on, I grew up actually on the west side, Rio Rancho and stuff. And then later on in life, I grew up in the Heights.
When you matured and grew up a little bit.
Now I'm back at Rio Rancho because I actually just bought a home.
Yeah, because she grew
Nice.
up. Yeah.
What part of town did you buy a home in?
Rio Rancho.
It's a big town.
I feel like it's very renovated. It's very new. Like it's just very.
What part are you, because Rio Rancho seems to be like the size of Utah. So what part of Rio Rancho are you? Because it's like here.
What's a landmark? Which tumbleweed factory are you next to?
Okay, so here's the big one. It's like southern and northern.
Yeah,
so it's like that whole little community.
Yeah.
So
that's a great spot.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really nice.
So hold on, I want to get to, because I'm a hockey player and there's blades. So where are you in terms of where blades is? Or the MAC is what they call it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Well, I'm new to the area, kind of.
Oh,
so
well then never mind. We won't get into that.
I'm still finding
But
my way around.
Congrats on the home purchase. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I can't believe it happened.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
That's huge. That's
an early start.
Everyone says they can't buy a house too, and it's just like, yeah, you can. You know.
Well, that's great, and kudos for you for taking the right steps. Obviously, you're way ahead of most people. I mean, representing our state,
Thank
getting your
you.
degree, buying a home. But was it always that easy? What's your backstory? You know, growing up and.
Yeah, so no, it was never that easy, actually. Everything I have today is literally built up from the ground. So my mother had passed away when I was 13, and then my father passed away when I had just turned 18. I was still in high school, and so it's always been me and my brother in the home too with our parents, but ever since they both passed away, right when I had turned 18, it was like the perfect opportunity for me to gain legal guardianship of him. And so since they are both deceased, it's just been me and him, like, against the world.
So you guys never had a guardian or anybody move in? It was just you were 18, making breakfast, doing laundry, getting everybody out the door?
Yeah, it was like get my brother to school, get myself to school, finish high school, graduate high school, and then I immediately started at UNM.
So that seems like a pretty tall order to ask an 18-year-old girl to take care of her younger brother, even if there are no other issues underlying, but it sounds like there have been some, with...
Yeah, with the parents for sure.
Yeah.
And with my brother having autism and being nonverbal, it's a huge challenge just because it's different than just taking care of a sibling that'll grow up and leave the home someday and they're able to communicate and they're able to cook for themselves and stuff. But I think it's been more challenging in the sense because I'm taking care of an individual that can't be independent and can never take care of himself.
Where do you find the time to do everything?
That's a really great question.
Because we need this skill. Where do we get more time? What vending machine? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my mottos are Red Bull, drink lots of Red Bull,
Yeah.
and I guess just determination and just staying focused and just driven on the things that you want to accomplish in life.
What does his day look like on a school day? What hours and what takes place for his schooling? What kind of...
Yeah, so luckily the APS programs, they offer something called a transitioning program where after the kids initially graduate, they're able to stay at their schools for like 3 to 4 years, just so that it gives the parents and the caregivers a length of time to figure out what next to do. So the day still consists of like an 8-hour day for him. I drop him off in the morning, I pick him up in the afternoon, and then I take care of him and I do online school, and then I'm out and about. So since I miss New Mexico, USA, I'm always like, he's always on adventures with me, and typically throughout the afternoons.
That's great. Does he love that? Like, do you guys have a communication where you pick up something and then you have to relay it sometimes, I bet, right?
Oh, absolutely. I know him like the back of my hand. He's truly my best friend and just the person that is with me all the time. So his what he says and just the little things that he does, I catch on pretty quickly, and I'm having to relay that to other people so that way they can understand too.
Educate us more about nonverbal autism.
Yeah, so with my brother, so it's different for everybody. Obviously, the spectrum is very wide, and they say that if you've met one person with autism, then you've only met one person with autism because it varies. So with my brother, him being nonverbal, everything is based off of memory, and so keywords such as like juice or snack, it's all been a memory thing for him. So that's why he can only say those things because he's heard it repeatedly like his whole life. Whereas like he cannot have a conversation like us right now or be like, how are you doing?
So he must love pattern too, right? He
loves pattern.
He probably thrives in a predictable manner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pattern, colors, numbers, that all kind of goes through
What's
his
his
brain.
favorite color?
It usually ranges between red, blue, and yellow. So it's always like
We ask the hard-hitting questions here.
Yeah, he's a Romanian guy.
He's the star of the show.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with the telepathy tapes?
No, I'm
It's
not.
a podcast about nonverbal autism.
Oh, wow.
And interesting studies that have come up have shown that family members, specifically mothers or somebody very close, have the ability to communicate with nonverbal autism people via
wow.
telepathy.
Okay.
And so it's just a whole long podcast, very interesting, about a lot of nonverbal autistic kids have the ability to communicate telepathically, not only with their mothers, but also with other kids around the world who are nonverbal.
I heavily believe in with being able to convey something without, like, I've had times where I had people know my word and I knew their word too.
Yes.
And you go, I can't explain it. There's no math formula for it, but you can have a testimonial to say, this is absolutely true. I believe in that.
Oh, I believe in it too. Like you definitely, they say actions speak louder than words sometimes, and you don't always have to say something to get your point across. So, and that's with Michael too, especially with not learning how to communicate. He does things. So
I bet he's super observant, because a lot of times if you had you went like this even a little bit, like, oh my God, this must mean this, and because of patterns, and they archive and receive so well,
Yeah.
that their observations tell them something in a millisecond that it would take someone, and their people IQ is usually pretty high.
Oh yes, he's a very smart individual. Like I said, his memorization is so on point. I mean, even as a kid, like we would drive by grocery stores or high schools, and he would be up at night, like getting all of his letters and actually spelling out the name of things because it's based off of memory. Yeah. So yeah, very smart kid.
So is he a speller then? I mean, how does he communicate mostly if he's nonverbal? I mean, I know he's got a few words, but
yeah, so
does he spell things out, like type things out on a message board or anything?
So he does use an iPad for communication. It's very slight work right now just because he has to keep improving on that with speech therapy. But most of the time it's just showing. It's through pictures. It's through just guidance. And so if he initially wants something, he'll take my hand and he'll go show it to me. Or like I said, it's through pictures, and obviously that's based off of the memory too. Yeah. So very good with imagery too.
I have a theory that we are the ones that they look at us like,
how are you not picking up?
Yeah,
like,
like,
for sure.
You guys have to use words, like, come on, you know. And I do think that the perceptiveness of I've met a couple autistic kids that were what's the term, the
nonverbal.
Yeah, nonverbal.
That picked up on something, because I'm pretty observant, but would go like point to the dog like it knew it needed a tennis ball, and the dog was just kind of like looking. I'm like, what? This guy knows everything. I would need a scout like that. I'd be like, hey, help me out. I'm the one who can't find my car at
You
Smith's.
definitely need. Yeah, ask him where his car keys are right now. Okay, well, that's awesome. So it sounds like you guys have a great relationship. So a little bit more about you. So you went to University of New Mexico and you're working on your master's now. But
Yes.
What did you graduate with?
So I got my BA in psychology, and then I minored in community health.
Okay.
And so a lot of that, I'm guessing, has to do with, you know, your younger brother. Was that an inspiration for you?
So actually, I initially went to UNM for their nursing program, but then because I do take care of my brother full time, I couldn't actually attend the clinicals, and so I needed a backup plan. And so always my backup plan was psychology, just because my brother's disability and just the human mind in general has always been super fascinating to me. So that was my backup plan, and then I somehow wanted to just collaborate with helping people with mental health or anything of that sort.
Yeah. So tell me about the pageantry, right? How do you get into it? What made you inspired? Like, what made you go, you know what? I bet you I could be Miss New Mexico.
Yeah, so it was actually, I never thought I would do it, actually. So I've only done it for 3 years. And my best friend, who is also a photographer here in New Mexico, he was actually the one that was like, hey, you should try pageantry. And I laughed and I was like, you're insane. I would never do that. But then that same night, I got really curious and I applied for it.
And she did it.
And yeah, 3 years later, I became the Miss New Mexico USA.
That's
so.
awesome. And so tell me, there's 2 secrets to this, because you didn't know how you could do it. Obviously, you're a winner, and you didn't know you could be a winner before. You have another endeavor you want to go into, right? And we'll talk about the hidden grant. Let's talk about what you want to get into.
Yes, so my huge goal is to eventually open up my own facility for those with autism after they graduate high school, so that way they have somewhere to go once they get out of high school, so that way the parents and the caregivers don't have to worry so much what the next steps are. No. Because I know that New Mexico receives a lot of funds for disabled, and so, but we don't know where it's going, or we don't have the resources for it.
Yeah, her and I were chatting before the show, because there's this little trick that the government does, is goes, oh, well, you didn't want the grant, I guess we'll take it back. No one wants it, but they don't tell them about it. So I think it would be awesome, that you need to have more things to do, but to really spread it out there for everyone to go, hey, just so you know, here's what they're doing, here's what you can have.
Right, the opportunity is there, right? And there's so many parents and so many caregivers that truly need this right now. And so when I had that concept, it was like, oh my gosh, like we need that. And so I've had my mind set on that, and it's definitely a huge goal of mine. Once the rain is over and once I get closer to accomplishing my master's program, that will be the end goal.
Let's talk about the rain. The rain. So the rain comes to an end for you this summer.
Yes, it's going to be given up at the end of July.
What is it? So what does the peaceful transition of power look like when you?
No,
pass
they'd
that
have to
crown on?
fight. They fight it out.
Is it like a
They have
U.S.
to scramble.
They have to rip it off her because she's like, this is mine. No, yeah, go ahead, talk about that.
So it's really, truly, like I said, in the beginning, I was like, I don't think I would ever do that. But truly, ever since beginning this, it has just helped build me into a more confident and successful individual by wanting or knowing what I want in life and truly helping me navigate through that by building connections and by just getting out in the community. So I think it's been more beneficial than I thought. And so that's the positive.
Were you
of it.
initially an introvert at first?
I'm like an extroverted introvert.
Okay. Because I think that no matter what you became, and you found something in yourself that you go, I'm pretty comfortable now. Like, this isn't so bad. Like, getting in front of people or meeting this many people, you meet some pretty.
Based on
stories.
growing up, yeah. I mean, it's definitely been tricky, but I feel like I love being around people and I love learning more about people and what truly like the world has to offer, because sometimes it's not a good spot.
I like being around people on my terms, though. I couldn't be like a high school principal and be like, I love kids, but like, I want to, kill
go
them.
home.
But I love people, but are you like that where you go, okay, I'm going to schedule this surrounding?
I definitely have to prep myself. I'm like, all right, it's go time. But no, I mean, like I said, I love being around people, but I also need my space too. I feel like I work really well independently. But at the same time, I know that once a community gets together, like there's just so much more to offer, especially in the city and in the state.
Speaking of community and the state, what are some of the events or appearances that you've had to make over the last year? I mean, I would imagine it's all over the state. What does it look like? What are your day-to-day duties?
So basically, I can make as much appearances as I want to, and luckily, I've wanted to take full advantage of this opportunity.
Do you get money for that?
So it comes out of my own pocket, yeah. So I drive to these places. Sometimes I prepare the activities.
I think it should be the other way around. We're like, you want Miss New Mexico? Well, then pony up.
We paid her $100,000 to be here today. We
need
ratings.
Wait, so we're the only ones that had to pay. Dang it, she got us.
That's not true, folks.
What's the coolest thing that you went to as Miss New Mexico? Or I mean, as they asked for you, right? What was the event?
So I've done a lot of cool things. I know that when I first started, I actually got my own billboard here in New Mexico,
Nice.
which was really cool. So that was really cool to see.
Did they pay for it though? Hopefully you didn't have to pay for that.
I did not pay for that. It was a
Okay.
gift.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
it was a gift from a
From
very
Ron
close friend.
Bell.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I wish. He actually helped me with an accident once. So
Did he really?
He
Shout out him.
came on the show. He's a great
legend.
guy. Yeah.
He's a legend.
Shout out Ron Bell.
Shout out him.
What did you go to one time where you were like, oh no, and you end up going, that was pretty sick?
Gosh, I mean, all of them have been like really cool. I went to the UNM Children's Hospital. There's an autism run this weekend that I'll be going to advocate for my brother. I've been to my elementary school, my high school.
State fair? You go to the state fair?
I
do
went
some
to the
waving?
state fair.
There
Yeah,
you
I've
go.
been
She was just on the
everywhere.
Ferris wheel like the full time, like just waving, like hi, hi. What elementary school did you go to?
Sierra Vista Elementary.
Me too.
Besties.
Shut the front door.
No, it used to be. It's still lava rock, and back then it was.
The playground,
The
everything.
Titanic and Little Titanic, was that still around when you were there?
I don't remember a Titanic.
I think I jumped off it
They
too
probably got rid of it
much.
after
Yeah, after they saw me, they're like, "This guy's gonna die," and
Captain
they're not wrong.
Concussion.
Yeah. I
knew I knew you.
No, it's funny. Yeah. But that road is called Paseo del Norte.
Yes.
Also, isn't that? It's interesting. A little known fact for you.
I'm learning so much
Yeah,
about your
the back, the swear though, this is worth telling. the back of the school, like it's mostly made out of lava rock, and you could discover like fossils. And I found a brontosaurus one in the recess.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I
One
put
of your relatives?
I never found that.
Well, I found them all. You didn't have a chance by the time you came in there. You got all the dinosaurs.
We're derailed.
Yeah.
No, Mackenzie, okay, so fantastic story, and I think that you're headed in the right direction as far as opening your own facility, and we're happy to make some connections for previous guests we've had on the show who have a big impact on the autism community, and I think networking is the key.
We started off like just to like, hey, let's be funny, and then we went like, man, we're finding a lot of people that
Giving
make
a
a
voice.
difference, and not only like we're finding out people that are ambitious and are currently helping people out.
Yes.
And that awareness is crazy, but we didn't start off as this like philanthropy guys. We're going to make sure the kids are better, but we keep finding it. And we're like, these stories are great, and they keep pouring in. So you're an example. I can't wait to follow up with you at Sierra Vista. Well, I'll help you find one more dinosaur. No, but really, I hope you get to open up your facility, and you're super ambitious. It's hard work.
So one more thing. So when is the grand exit for you? It's one more pageant, and then you hand off the crown? When is that take place?
Skip is really worried about this sash. You can't have it.
If it's up for grabs.
It's mine forever.
If it's up for grabs, I'm taking it.
So I do give it up at the end of July. And yes, the pageant will be held July 25th through the 27th. So if girls want to also compete, it will be held in Las Cruces. And so that will be the last finale until I give the crown to somebody else. But luckily, I do get to keep these.
Do you get to be part? Like I would think you get to be part of the selection crew, right? You go as a. Wouldn't you? Don't you get to see?
You get to be a
who's
judge
in?
at some point
Right.
if you decide to, but maybe not during the.
Yeah, not
election
this
year.
time around. But
That's too
hopefully
bad.
my director does call me and is like, hey, can you judge this pageant for me? And I would be absolutely
I
honored.
would be judging anyway. Well, let's look at that.
Well, shout out, I do have some royalty in my family. Shout out intern Ashley, Miss Rodeo San Diego, Miss Rodeo Poway, Miss Rodeo Queen.
Oh,
Miss
wow.
Rodeo
Oh.
Poway.
Not bragging, but that's,
I don't know what that is though.
He
Teach
said,
me.
yeah,
What's-
not a big deal,
Can you
really.
please tell me what Poway is?
Poway's a city in San Diego
Okay, thank you.
that does rodeo.
Oh, I
She was
see
the
it
queen.
right here. It's like,
Okay.
come on, Grant.
Yeah.
Look at the earth.
yeah. Do you know your axis or not?
Mackenzie, fantastic catching up with you. We appreciate you. Congrats on all your success and your future endeavors as well. So Mackenzie will have links to all your Instagram, your website, and if you want to get it started in Miss New Mexico, USA, we'll have links, of course, down below. Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is UABQ.
Thank you, Ms. Sydow, for coming in. No, it was Sydow, right? Got it right. That was a wonderful segment, and we're going to get into not even better segment. This one's okay. Skip's Tips.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Skip's Tips are anything that saves us time, makes us more money, allows us to have more fun in real estate or in real life. Attention sellers. If your home's not selling, it's the price that's not compelling. Let me explain. Here's what I mean. So, as a seller, when you go on the market, the goal is to get a minimum of at least 2 showings a week. That's the market telling you that they're priced appropriately. Now, if your home is sitting a little bit longer and you're getting a ton of showings but no offers, that's the market telling us that the price is not in line with the property. If the property sits for a long time and there's no showings, that's the market telling us that the price is not in line with the property. If you get a ton of showings but no offers, something's fishy. You may want to take out the trash. There could be an underlying problem with the property, which is why it's always important for sellers. Have your agent obtain feedback from all the buyers that have toured your home. That'll paint an accurate picture of what people like about it and maybe why that property's not selling. So one more time, if your home's not selling, it's the price that's not compelling. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you really like that line, don't you?
What?
I hate niche lines. Not that yours is niche, but I always hated date the rate and marry. There's some things that are good, but I can't do cliche stuff. But the other thing I wanted to know is how would you know what it's like to be a cellar or an attic or a basement?
Okay.
Yeah.
Deep
Oh,
thoughts.
yeah.
Deep-
Sierra Vista in the house.
Bronto Grant here, taking questions and changing lives. Every Wednesday night, Saturday morning, whatever the fuck, on UABQ on YouTube and Spotify. This is all about.
Apparently, this is where you find us, but he didn't put a hash mark. So for the first time in his life,
You
with
ABQ
with duct tape.
You're watching you, ABQ.